Someone here. I got you. You guys do a good job doing that. Because you can't just.
I'm Simeon Pando.
Dang.
Melvin Gregg.
This is another episode of Nice and Neat.
I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon.
Welcome back to another episode.
You gotta invite people who get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They do a good job.
I give it all to this fucking mic.
No, I'm talking about-
If it's been done before, then I know I can.
You can't let that thing go crazy.
That's
what
we
man got. We live in an apartment. Let them know where we at.
Give me neck. I rather shed blood to the ground while I'm here. Put some weight on top of my
Yeah.
name. My time here is not clear. I told Beretta VV diamonds all up in the
Okay.
chain.
It's been a minute.
Hey,
man, we
gotta
might-
feel
Okay,
Hold on,
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 okay.
hold on.
They gotta feel
I
that.
apologize. We actually only enter with one song all the time. Hey, dude, can you play Peekaboo for me right quick?
Oh,
Because coming off of this Super Bowl,
I could play it for a couple of seconds.
you can play it for a couple seconds.
I could
real
play it for a
quick, because
couple
we
of
can't
seconds.
mess up the.
I could play it about a couple of seconds.
We got a
You can play it
job.
for a couple because remember, he wasn't supposed to be playing. We got to remind him we the number one podcast in LA.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay, all right, for sure.
Real quick. What's good?
Oh man, we back, dog. We back. It's been a while.
Hold on, bro. We've been so wild. You want to bring us in?
You forgot?
Did you?
Oh,
You must have forgot. It's been
It's
that. It's
on
been
me.
that.
It's on you.
It's on.
That's why
wow.
That's why he acting. That's why you acting a little funny right
Yeah.
now.
Oh wow. Damn. It's
been a while.
Okay. Yo, what's the deal? Y'all hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon, and apparently I still know the rules. And this is the number one podcast in all of Los Angeles, Nice and Neat. I'm here for another episode with my brothers. I don't even think blood can make us closer. We've been at Duke's house rocking since Super Bowl Sunday. As you see, we kind of came in with the K-Dot. Man, dog, what's going on, fellas?
What's happening, man? How are you?
I miss this synergy, man. It's a lot going on. You know, people break up here and there, and you know we still rocking.
Man, people do break up all the time. I'm happy that we've built a solid foundation. Because you know why? People do break up because they don't have that cohesiveness from the jump. You know what I mean? They don't pour into the foundation, and you know, not to talk about anybody else, but to highlight what we do. You know what I mean? I think we've done a great job of pouring into one another. So even when earthquakes do happen, our building never falls.
Come on, then.
You know, I don't know. You know,
That was off the top of the dome.
you know that was good. yeah, man. We locked in.
That's funny. Yeah. Woo, I had a comment, but it's too early. You said something about earthquakes out. It's too early.
It's too early.
It's too early. It's too early. I ain't gonna say that. But
Okay, all right.
I was gonna say, what about fires? Too early.
Too early. Too sensitive. Too sensitive.
So to cut that out, bro. But nah, man. Man, things are going well right now, man. I'm feeling good. The year has been solid, man. Just came off the Super Bowl. I saw y'all recently, so it was a good time. And just happy to have y'all in my house, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Happy to have y'all in my house. But what we getting into today?
Well, before we jump straight into it, I do want to tell you something, right?
Okay, what's up?
Something that's super dope.
Okay.
I love how you and Chanel host.
Okay.
Something that me and Brittany talk about that's actually super difficult to do is mix singles and couples. Mm-hmm. It's very difficult to do because when you single, you have a particular mindset. You know, no disrespect to the single people. And then when you are in a relationship, when you married, you know, a parent, you have a different mindset as well. And you guys somehow, some way are able to allow the rooms to still be extremely cohesive. So I want to say kudos to you guys on that. You know, I don't think people in relationships feel uncomfortable because, just to give an example, right? Single women, they single. So you may show up and you may dress extremely provocative just because that is what you're used to. You know, single men, they single. So you may show up and feel like you can approach and speak to whoever you want to approach and speak to.
Yeah.
And it's none of that when you guys have events. People, I feel comfortable enough bringing my son around.
Yeah, I was thinking about that actually. It's like, I think people kind of understand the nucleus of people we hang around. All right, like your brand is your brand, or your identity is your identity. So people kind of know what's up, right? Especially if you're around each other, like we're around each other, and your families and my family, we all integrate. We just kind of know, like, okay, these are the type of people that's going to be there. So anyone that's going to come into the space already knows to not even be no funny shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but a lot of that is Chanel, man. Chanel's really great at, like, she'll pretend like she don't enjoy hosting, or not even enjoy hosting. She would act like she's not good at it, but she's good at it.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
this Super Bowl, she really excelled.
Hey, come on, man.
Hey, she shined.
Hey, come on, bro.
I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. From the decor, bro, the vibe. Nah, she did her thing, bro.
She did her thing. I had to tell her that.
She put her foot in that.
I said, babe, you're really good at this. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, literally, when I was on the call with y'all, when we was having a nice and neat meeting, I said, yo, what y'all doing for the Super Bowl? You're like, what you trying to host something? I said, yeah, I'm trying to do it. So I went to Chanel. I was like, you trying to host Super Bowl? She was like, yeah, I'm cool with it. I said, you sure? She said, yeah, I'm cool with it. Right? But every time we hosting something, it's like, initially it's always like, yo, it's a lot of work. But she really enjoys, like, the next day she was like, babe, what you think about this? I saw something on TikTok, the turf on the She was like, yo,
that was it to me.
That was good.
Can we do the island? Can we put the? I was like, yo, I didn't think about that. I was just, guys, I was just thinking about, I'm just have the
never
homies
think
over.
of that.
Just get it done.
I'm gonna just have
Let's
the
get
homies
food.
over.
Just get the food. Have some drinks.
I'm gonna just have the homies over and we just watch the game. But she's like, she made it the thing. She got the balloons, the field goal post, and it was in that moment I was just like, yo, like, she would have really thrived as like an NFL wife or girlfriend.
But it sounds like she ready to be a wife.
Come on, man.
Hey,
Don't put that.
I'm just saying. That's what it sounds like.
She about to be one.
I'm just saying she doing her thizzle, dog.
I like that, though.
I like that. Crazy,
I like that, though.
Hey, damn it.
I like that, though. We gotta hold our sister
be
down.
your
I like
brother.
that, though.
It be your own brothers. That's crazy.
Hey, you know what? Okay, so we've been having a lot of conversations, and the series that we're doing right now, outside of the podcast, but as we're doing with so many ladies, finding Mr. Right in 2025, right? After thinking about these classes, and it makes me sit down and think, do you think that people are single by choice? Or do you think that people are single because they're just not finding any luck
When you say
and
people,
being in a relationship?
When you say people, what do you mean?
What type of people?
Matter of fact, let me be specific. Do you think women are single by choice, or do you think women are single because they're not finding any luck?
I think there's very few women, because I think there's a handful, but I think there's very few women who are single by choice. The majority, I feel like the women, at least the women that we talk to, are the women who are struggling to find the one. Whether it be they haven't found someone that meets their standards, their level of commitment, transparency, maturity.
And you saying this is by choice? Or they have not finding any luck?
They're not having any luck.
Okay.
I'm saying they're not finding any luck. I think the majority of women are not having any luck. I think there are a few women, when I say a few, I mean a handful. There's a plethora, but less than the ones who are having any luck. But there are a few who are by choice. There are some independent women who are really focused on their career, who don't have the time for a relationship, you know what I mean, that are making the choice. But I think the majority of women want companionship. They want love. They want to excel in their relationship. They want to start a family. They want to do the Instagrammable moments. They want the white picket fence. They want the dream. That's what I believe.
Yo, so when we say choice though, because I had my thoughts on this, but now I'm thinking, when we say women are single because they're not having any luck, but isn't that choice though? Like, isn't it like, yo, I choose not to deal with someone who doesn't align with me. I choose not to deal with someone who I'm not attracted to. I choose not to. Right? Isn't that choice still?
Yeah, but
like, how do we define choice?
But that's like you're protecting your peace though, right? Because you don't just want to be in a relationship with anybody. That's not the goal of searching for companionship.
Yeah, but I don't think. Okay, so I have a hard time believing that anybody, let alone women, are just out here begging people to just like be in a relationship with them, and then people are just rejecting them.
Well, women can't beg people to be in a relationship with them. That's not how it goes.
I'm saying though,
Not can't, they don't.
They don't.
I'm saying
They
though.
don't.
I'm saying though, like for me to say that, it's hard, bro. Because I think that everything is a choice, though.
Let's talk about the people who it's not a choice for. Let's talk about the people who aren't necessarily going on dates. They may work a lot. They're not out there like that, right? And not necessarily not out there like that because they don't want to be, but the lifestyle that they live.
No, okay, hold on. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me just define what choice is. Okay?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
I think that this is when I say somebody is single by choice, I mean that if the guy that you wanted walked up to you was in your face, the guy who was attractive, he had everything on your paper, you would still turn him down.
That's by choice.
That's single by choice.
Yes.
Can we agree on that?
I agree with that. Do you agree?
I need to know what the
Okay.
other definition would be for the other side before I completely agree.
Okay, the other choice, the other definition is single because you're not having any luck is you want to be in a relationship right now. Okay, you want to be in a relationship, and you have your prototype of the type of guy that you want, but he doesn't want you.
Or that's not the one that's stepping to you.
So that's not by choice, is what you're saying.
That's not by choice.
So what we're saying is single by choice is
if you have
you don't want to be in a relationship. You just don't want to be in a relationship right now, no matter what comes your way.
Correct. That's single by choice.
Right. But what Omar describes
is the opposite.
It's
right?
kind of you're kind of contradicting what Omar described because what he said is it's just not working out for you. That's not necessarily single by choice.
Right.
Based off of your definition.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. So like I just wanted us to get that out the way first before we even like clear that up, right? Because there's only single by choice only means one thing. That means like I do not want to be in a relationship with anybody.
Okay.
With anybody. I'm single because like I don't care who steps to me. Like I don't care what anybody offers me. I'm single because I want to be single. I enjoy me.
Now let me ask you both. Have you both had seasons like that before? Like you're like, man, this girl's perfect, but not for me right now.
I've had seasons like that.
I've had seasons like that.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Correct.
I just wanted to
Yes.
just clear that up.
I don't think most women are in that season. So I don't think most women, because naturally most women are conditioned for companionship. Most people are conditioned for companionship, but I think the world is just more suitable for men to not to play around more, right? And I think women are like it's just more ingrained in them to like have to be in a relationship. So that's what they feel like they have to do.
So what about the women that you all? So what is the difference between the women that you see that are always in relationships, right, versus the women that kind of struggle with relationships? They kind of like, relationships are fewer and further in between, but like they both at the end of the day still continue to end up in the same space of being in those single spaces and not being in fully committed relationships.
Explain more.
So I'm sure we all can think of our avatar A of this woman who you see since literally we'll just say high school. Mm-hmm. She's always been in a relationship. She can name her your high school boyfriend. She can name her college boyfriend. She can name her adult boyfriends, through and through. And she's always in a relationship, but she's not married, right? We'll even just call her successful so women can attach themselves to this avatar as well.
That's funny.
So versus the other woman who, she may not necessarily she may have had a college relationship and may have not been in one since then, right? What is the difference between these two? If the end goal ultimately seems that they both want to get married, but that's not what is happening here for them.
Could be a lot. Availability is one, right? Presenting that you're available emotionally, physically, a lot.
Is one doing something right and the other one isn't? If they, at the end of the day, end up in the same spot?
Is one doing something right? Okay, so I would say if we end up in the same spot, all right, and I've had more experience than you. Because if I'm dating and I'm always with somebody, right, if I have more experience than you, then I'm probably, I am doing something better than you. I am doing something better than you.
Look at those faces.
No, I am doing something better than you.
He said it.
I thought he was gonna say they doing something wrong. He said I'm doing something better than you.
I'm doing something better than you. That's a fact. Because like if you are out here and you want to be in relationships and it's not working for you, then I'm doing something better than you. And then we end up in the same place. So you can't look at me and say, okay, you're dating around too much. For what? I'm dating around too much for what? If we end up in the same place, it worked.
So I'm gonna ask you, do you think that our dating patterns reflect the way that we love ourselves, the way that we treat ourselves? And if somebody is dating a lot, wouldn't somebody say they can't necessarily be by themselves as opposed to the person who is by themselves?
Yeah, but like again, that person that's by themselves is probably by themselves. That's not by choice. You don't. To me, like I'm not gonna give nobody no credit for being by themselves when they don't really want to be by themselves.
And that's doing something to their self-esteem
Come
as
on,
well.
man.
Okay.
Come on, man. Get out there and learn how to date.
What do you say? Duke says, he even said this in the class, fail fast. I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that. Mm-hmm. Break down what fail fast means.
So like a lot of times women are afraid to date people because they don't want to invest in someone or a relationship that doesn't work out. Mm-hmm. Right? So a lot of times they would slow foot the relationship trying to see where it goes instead of just having like 100% discernment right away, going on a couple of dates, filling it out, and then saying, it's not for me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a lot of people will hang around and let the shit linger, and then it not work out, and then someone looks back and says, man, I wasted all this time with this man. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying like, yo, that's a problem, but it's not so much a problem if you just fail fast.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Just get into it, learn, ask a lot of questions, right? Have in-depth questions, right? Mm-hmm. Not just like childish questions where like we in kindergarten, like have like in-depth, like learn, like substance. And if it doesn't work, like just, cut your ties. So I'll say, yo, fail fast.
Yeah, I don't think you lose by failing fast. I think you just learn. You know what I mean? You learn more about yourself more than anything, what you want, what you desire in companionship. So failing fast should be the goal if you don't have no action. Like I got to get in the game right now. You know what I mean? And you think about anybody who's doing anything, who's putting time into it, they know they want to get the reps now. So they could get out, work out the kinks, you know what I mean? So I could get quicker to the perfection or closest to it as possible.
So clarity is key in failing fast. You need to understand exactly what it is that you want. So truthfully, failing fast will be the best for your own personal growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
If something is not right for you. I'm not saying don't stick anything out, but if something is not right for you, failing fast will be the best thing for your own personal growth and your self-esteem.
Yeah. What would you say though? What would you say about like is it better? Okay? The woman who has multiple relationships versus the woman who doesn't really have that many relationships but they end up in the same place. Like your daughter, what path would you want her to take?
I think that's a great question. I think I like to, for a comparison, I like to compare a lot of things when it comes to wisdom to wealth, right? So I'll use this for example, right? If you grew up in a wealthy family, would you have to take the same exact sacrifices and risk that we took growing up? No, you wouldn't. No. The roadmap is kind of like laid out. So that's why it's so important to be around emotional health, mental health. Mm-hmm. So somebody could kind of give you a roadmap on what that looks like. Mm-hmm. I don't believe people who've been around healthy relationships their entire life need to date 20 people. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. I'm not saying dating 20 people is wrong, but I'm saying the people who have the roadmap to what
healthy women. Are you talking about women? Because it's different for guys.
Yes, I'm talking about women. For example, as a woman, you grew up in a specific household, you've seen specific relationships, you've seen what success looked around then. I don't think that you would have to do the same to somebody who was figuring it out. Okay. If you were born into wealth, you should be able to understand what wealth looks like and also be able to make your own wealth within your own life, right? So that's how I look at that. Okay. So I do think experience is important when you need it.
So based off what you're saying, though, do you believe that if you came from a unhealthy relationship like home, you should be dating like that in the same capacity?
I wouldn't use the word should, but I think your dating cycle would look a little bit different than somebody who came from a healthy household. Mm-hmm. And that's not a knock on anybody. That's just you trying to figure it out and understand what works for you, right? So like, you might have known what worked for you coming from the households that you came from at 12, 13 years old. If you decide to move astray, it's because that was a personal decision that you decided to make. You know what love felt like. You know what love looked like.
Right.
You know what all of those things looked and felt like.
Yeah.
So to your point, if I was somebody who decided to be single for, 2 and 3 years because I'm looking for the one, it's because I know exactly what I'm looking for. So back to the point of clarity being key.
Yeah.
I think your clarity is way more.
Yeah.
You have much more clarity when you grow up in the space.
Yeah. I don't want you to conflate though, not being able to like land a relationship and like there's a difference between I can't find a person for the life of me and I'm actually aware of everything and this is the path that I actually want to take to get to the end goal. That's a different approach. Now, if you're someone that says, hey, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not dating around because, hey, my husband in the future is going to value a woman like me and I already come from a good family. I know exactly. That's different.
That has everything to do with the foundation.
That's different.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different because now
okay.
we're weighing two different things. Now we're weighing someone who has success.
Yep.
Whether it's now or later.
They
but
know
she,
what it
she
looks
know
like.
What
She know what it look like. Yeah.
And versus someone who is still figuring it out, that's a completely different thing. It's not even a fair competition.
Yeah.
So in the end, every man is gonna look at that woman like, okay, this person like is specific. She knows exactly what she wants. Cool. I'm gonna pick her. Right. But it's different if you're saying like, I'm taking someone who has experience dating men, okay, and someone who has experience and success dating men, and someone who lacks experience and has no success and no blueprint and no roadmap.
Yeah.
Right. So now she want to date me, but she has no experience about how to treat a man, no experience about how to manage her emotions. So for me, I'm gonna look at that and like, there's a lot of guys who want like the pure version, woman. Right.
Those guys don't live here.
Like, come on. Like, there's a lot of guys that...
Those guys don't live here.
What's the pure version?
Like, like the untainted, no one's ever seen her, no one's ever dealt with her. She has no experience.
Those guys live in the Middle East.
But here's the problem. Here's a problem though, because most guys are looking at that person as like, like lunch meat.
Right.
Like, hey, easily manipulated, easily controlled. Right. Once I get my hooks in her, she's gonna be right here. She ain't gonna do nothing. She's not a threat. That's how most guys are looking at that woman. Right? Because it allows them to exude their control over her. Okay? And they don't ever have to like question their own insecurities in that regard. Men. So that's why
I would say some. You think most men feel like that?
I'm saying most men that would pick that. That's what I'm talking about, right?
So right now what you're saying is there's no benefit to the woman who says, I don't want to do a bunch of dating around. I want to focus on, like, again, let's say she grew up in a household where she was like, my desire is always to get married. Yes. I want to get married. I want to have a family. And that's the way that I'm moving. So even when I did date the one guy in high school, this was somebody who our parents were in alignment and we just didn't work because we went to different colleges. And then when I dated my college sweetheart, we didn't work because we broke up. And then I married the guy when I was 24 years old. You're saying? I'm saying that woman right there has value because she knows exactly what she wants. She comes from a good family. The roadmap is there. The blueprint is there. That's different. You understand? It's completely different than when we talking about the comparison thing. We're just talking about, like, this is a woman who actually has no luck. This is a woman who's striking out. She actually wants to date a lot, but she can't. That woman. Versus this woman that actually, like, guys like her. She's going on dates. She's experienced. Like, she's my vibe. Like, that's different. Now, we're talking about someone who's just, this woman is bred to be a wife. She knows that's, come on, man. That's a no-brainer, though. All right.
The woman who is not dating, I find it hard to believe she has success in the relationship if her parents are not married. Like if they're not around and present in her life, because what other example?
The one that's not having luck, you mean? That woman.
The one who's choosing to say, I'm waiting.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting. I know what I want. Right, I'm waiting on this on the right man, the right time, and my man is going to value that. Right, that woman. Damn, I just lost my train of thought. What did I just say before that? That woman is
She had her parents. And she don't have
that woman has to heavily rely on the foundation that she was built on. So if her parents are no longer together, or if one of her parents is deceased, I find it very hard for her to have success in a relationship, because what does she have to look to for an example on how to be a woman, how to be a wife, how to be a mother, right? She doesn't have nothing to look, and she hasn't been dating. She don't have any experience. I find it hard to believe that men are looking for that. Like, to me, that is a recipe for disaster. That woman actually needs to me, change up her approach. You got to get in the field a little bit. You got to get some skin in the game. Not having no experience.
How does that affect you as a man though? How does that improve your life? A woman who has experience.
A woman that has experience, well, she could teach me something. She could be where I lack. We talked about being in our blind spots on many episodes ago. That's how you be in a man's blind spot.
So a woman who has experience with another man has more value.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so, because she knows she's been experienced in close quarters with a man. She understands, and maybe she doesn't understand, but she has a understanding, right? Now, she doesn't fully understand, but she has an understanding of how a man's emotions are, how a man works, how a man ticks, what gets on his nerves, how to nurture to him, how to love him, right? How to cater to him, the things that matter.
Do you think that a woman learns how to cater to a man, or she learns how to cater to you? Because I think the two are different. Personally, I think you can have.
Well, I think your woman learns to cater to you, but the woman learns to cater. What in the right household? Like, my mother raised my sister. She knows how to cater.
You see, she learned that from her mom.
From her mom.
I don't think that you learn that necessarily from. And I'm not
But
saying
she was taught that though.
Yeah, she learned how to be nurturing from her mom, right? But you only learn how to cater to a man through experience with a man. If you just drop me on this earth and say, yo, go date a woman and go court a woman, I wouldn't know what the hell to do.
Okay, so I do agree with this, right? I think we're all in the same space. I think where we're having a bit of trying to get some understanding is the level of experience we're talking about, right? Because I'm sure as women listening that is like, okay, well, what's too much experience?
Come on now.
What's not enough experience? What is the right amount of experience? So what are we talking about there?
All right, so to be quite frank, we're not if we're talking about hoes, it's different.
All
right. If we talking about people that we identify as young kids as hoes, get arounds, it's different. But I don't think we should conflate those women with just women who date multiple guys. I don't think so, bro.
There's a difference.
There's a difference.
We don't got to associate dating with sex.
Huh?
No, we don't.
There's a difference, bro.
When you mature, you understand that.
So you, and this is the thing too, when you, that's why the conversation on the internet be just so it just removes all the nuance, and the layers, and say, yo, if she just deals with 4 guys, she's out. Bro, you'll never know how many guys she dealt with.
Why would you say some stupid
You'll
stuff
never know, bro. You will never know. She's gonna lie to you. Why would she why would a woman tell you how many guys you the only way you'll know is if she's really been out there. You'll hear through the grapevine.
Yeah.
Okay. And based on her behavior, you'll be able to see through her behavior sometimes, right? But in terms of trying to make a Snapchat decision based on okay, this girl has been interacting with guys since she was 13 or 14, and now she's 26, and you're on anything over 4, I can't do. That don't make sense to me, right? That's not. We're talking.
And when you say anything over 4, you're talking about sex partners.
I'm talking about sexual partners, bro.
So
or even just known associations.
So I feel like that conversation is so nuanced, and we could be talking about that and diving into that for a long time, right? If we just go off of looking at people who are with people throughout the course of their life all the time, every time you see somebody they're in a relationship, there is some people who would say that these people have a dependency. Some other people would say this person enjoys just emotional stability. how will we compare people who are in relationships, the pros and the cons of always being in a relationship, right? And then the pros and cons of kind of being more of a nomad, single person. I'm kind of moving this way.
I think the personal growth is a huge component to that. Because like when you get with the right person in a relationship, you could always see the elevation in someone. And then when you see people get in the wrong relationship, you could also see like, damn, that person's actually draining that person. And then the person who's not, you also see that they're kind of, you can only bring so much out of yourself. You know what I mean? Especially if you don't have a counterpart, someone actually kind of trying to extract something extra out of you. So I think it's that for me. Like,
yo, like when you're not in a relationship, you can be extremely selfish. That's an advantage, oftentimes. Being selfish is an advantage when you're trying to like work your way up into positions of success. Okay, like I know, like I understand that the power of having a partner and teamwork and marriage and relationship and all those things. Okay, but I also understand how much you can get done as a selfish single person. Okay, because you can take more risk, you can do more unexplained actions that you don't even know how to articulate.
How does that help women though? That don't help. That's great for us.
What do you mean? How does it help?
That's
women?
great for us. Like for the growth for a man. You know what I mean? Like
It helps women because women they have careers too.
How does that help them in a relationship? That don't help them. That don't help them at all.
Well, what I'm saying is like there's pros and cons in both things. So there's cons in there's pros in being singles, but like the con is, hey yo, like you're not developing relationships while you're in your best years of life.
Yes.
Right? But here's the thing, life is about trade-offs.
It is.
Okay? So these are things that we gotta understand. Life's about trade-offs. But I'm not here to tell you what's wrong or right, but I'm saying though, like there is an advantage in being single and being a nomad and not having a responsibility of a man's emotions, or a man, or just even putting yourself at risk to even be stressed by a man or pregnant by a man, whatever the case may be. That's an advantage, bro. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, the advantage to being in a relationship, there's an advantage of not having to do everything yourself. Mm-hmm. There's an advantage of having a default built-in, soundboard that's going to listen to you, that's going to help you manage your emotions, that's going to assist you, that's going to carry things. Yep. You know what I mean? That's probably going to keep you healthier, so you're not going to be drinking as much. Yep. You're not going to be going out gaining weight. Yep. I mean, if you're the right guy, of course.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But stability is important. Like stability is important for your health. Like that's an advantage. All right. And then the other thing is this: like the later you get in life, it's harder to meet people. So an advantage is just like having it situated early, so you don't have to think. You don't have to have the stress, because at some point you're gonna get to a point where it's like, I want to settle down.
Yep.
At some point.
Yep.
So if you may miss it at 23, 25, 26. Right? You may miss it and not see it again until like 38, 39. And in the midst of it, you may be stressing yourself out of like, damn, when is it going to happen for me? Mm-hmm. Okay. But if you have it, is the stress is now like, okay, how do I maintain my identity
within it
and still, do the things that fulfill me within it, and still not like feel like I am at this person's beck and call, or this is too much for me. So like there's pros and cons with both for sure.
One thing that you guys both said that really resonates with me is the self-growth of being in a relationship, right? And I think that, any form of growth hurts. We all work out. So when you're sore, it's because you're growing, and that's what's happening. I have a question for you guys, both of you guys, and whoever decides to take it first can. Do you think a lot of people that kind of move in the serial dating space, and when things kind of get a little bit more serious, back out of it, is that a space of them avoiding the work and who they can become and avoiding themselves? I guess we can say avoiding themselves.
Absolutely. It is 100% a fact. Okay. A lot of times people make it about other people, but it's really about you. It's the easiest thing to do is make it about other people. Right. But it's really about you. You don't have the commitment. You don't want to give up the attention. Right? You need self-validation from other people, right? You're not willing to be vulnerable. You're not willing to communicate. You don't have the emotional intelligence. But it's easy to say, like, ain't nobody on my level. It's easy. Okay, so I think people are scared. What do you think?
Yeah. I think to your point, we talk about blind spots all the time, and O has pointed out blind spots to me when I was in the space of serial dating, and I just see something that I don't like, and it's like, oh, I'm out of there, and it wasn't given any space, or I wasn't building any attrition in myself to be able to work through what a relationship could potentially look like, and these are viable candidates that I'm just like, I'm good, because I didn't like that thing. I was good on that thing, and I feel like understanding what your blind spots are, sometimes it's very difficult to do it by yourself. And you got to have good people around you that are in the direction that you're trying to go, telling you about those things. So I would say I think a lot of people avoid themselves when they're in a space of serial dating. Because obviously, like, what is the point of dating multiple people if you're not looking for the end goal? I think it's a contradicting objective. So yeah, I would think you're avoiding yourself.
Would you think people should just, like, if they're not going to serial date one person?
I feel like you could date one person without committing to them.
And that's more viable.
But you can only do that for so long.
I'm just saying,
it makes more sense.
Now you're playing games.
I'm just saying it would make sense to me if you both were on that. And you just like, yo, like, let's just be, because at this point, this is a lust thing. Like, you're just who I want to have sex with. We'll just be having sex, and we don't need anybody else because this is the only thing that we need, since we don't want to be in a relationship. Since we don't want to carry on life together, we don't want to combine finances together, we don't want to have children. Like, let's just us do it like this. That would make more sense to me than be serial dating and be like, I didn't like the way that he did this. And I'm just like, well, why do you care about that if you don't care if that trait is passed down to your child or not? Like, why is that something that even matters to you? It wouldn't be like, ultimately, I feel like we should be completely honest. When we say these specific things that we don't like about somebody, it's coming from a place of what our expectation of our future is. So it's like, man, I don't like the way that she speaks around children because I plan on having children. And if that's who she's going to be, it doesn't make me feel comfortable. But like, if that's not what you care about,
it don't matter.
It don't matter who they are. Do they look good? Yes.
Cool.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
So I feel like people are afraid of intimacy. I think they're afraid of letting people see into them. I think people are afraid of rejection. They don't want to be fully committal. So it's like, we could play in this space, but those same exact emotions that you have when you are committed come up in the play space, but you can't say anything because you haven't committed to the space. You're in the play space. So you just walking around frustrated, and you got all these emotions that you can't say anything about because you know the space that you operate in.
The gray space.
Yeah, you're in the gray space.
We don't even know the rules, really.
There's no rules in the gray space.
There are no rules in the gray space. That's why it's dangerous to be in the gray space. Bro, them the rules.
But there are rules, though. Like, this assumed rules.
Assume rules. They assume. They ain't nothing on paper, bro.
So I want to ask you guys, and I feel like this is something that is very conducive to the times that we're in right now. Seeing a lot of women that are very, very hyper independent, right? A lot of men see these women and they be like, man, I don't feel like if it's anything that I can really offer to you, so I'm not even gonna step to you because I don't feel like that there's anything that I can offer, right? In the space of just being publicly hyper independent, do you think that's something that is a roadblock for women who are successful, who are out here getting it, who are out here killing it? And that's how they appear, but we don't know what their intimate needs are.
Man, I think women could be successful and independent without screaming, "I'm independent." You know what I mean? I think the undertone and how they present themselves because they are successful can intimidate a man. But I also think that that's more so women walking in that masculine energy. You know what I mean? When you walk in your feminine, maybe you may not be so boastful about your accolades, you know what I mean, or your success.
Is boastfulness a trait of masculinity?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
How do you feel about that?
No. That's look at me. I don't think so. I think what a lot of masculine men identify as masculine is, it's like masculinity is something you exude. You don't have to speak about, right? You can walk into a room and not say nothing and be like, oh, that's the guy, right? So first of all, hey, the loudest person is usually the weakest. The loudest person is usually the weakest, bro. It's a defense mechanism. It's overcompensation. Hey, yo, I know low key I feel inferior. So I gotta let y'all know, like, hey, I'm not inferior, but low key I kind of feel like it, right? So it's a defense mechanism. You dig what I'm saying? So I don't feel like boasting.
I'm gonna push back.
I don't feel like boasting is a masculine thing.
I think I agree with you when you say weakness, but I think a lot of things that have to show up as masculine actually are weak. When things have to show up as masculine, I think it's weak. I'm just thinking about
when things have to show up masculine.
When they have to show up. When they're like, hey, I want this to scream masculine, it has to show up.
Okay.
And it's weak. We know that, right? I think that I do think boastful energy is a masculine thing. I think it's the same as beating on your chest. I would attribute it to that. And I say that from the space of when you got it, it's usually silent. When you're doing the thing, it's usually silent, right? I also think feminine energy.
When you say when you got it, it's usually silent.
It's usually silent.
When you don't have it.
Yeah. When you don't have it, it's a little bit louder. And when I say that, it could mean a lot of things, but we could dive into that later.
Gotcha.
But when I think about femininity,
right.
I really think femininity is so powerful in the way that it can move without having to say exactly what it is that I need. I think to O's point, when he says, you know, there is a boastfulness about a certain level of success when it comes to women, I do see how somebody could find that as unattractive. I do.
Yeah.
I see how somebody could find that as unattractive. Right? That wouldn't be surprising to me.
Yeah, but that unattractive is not the same as intimidated.
Well,
you understand what I'm saying? So it's always positioned.
Intimidating isn't attractive.
No, but it's always positioned as, oh, it's just intimidate. I'm intimidating him. When it's
I'm
actually
not
like it's not attracting me. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So the reason why I was bringing that up is because I was thinking about it, man. When we think about the Cosby Show, I'm still an advocate and a fan for the Cosby Show. When we think about the Cosby Show and we think about Claire Huxtable was a lawyer, one of the best lawyers that they had. However, she was still very soft.
Yeah.
She was very catering. And when she needed to cut you, she would cut you, right? We would see her do all of these things, but I could never think about any time she's ever boasted about her accolades as a lawyer.
Yeah.
So that was my relation to Omar's point in that.
Yeah. I think I was talking about boasting in terms of accolades, right? Not boasting to, hey, I'm trying to show my dominance because I want people to like not mess with my tribe. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's a little different, right? So you got to do whatever you got to do to protect your tribe and stuff like that. But here's what I don't like. We've gotten to a place where we kind of acting stupid, right? In terms of we're acting like we can't be successful. We're acting like there's no duality with us, you know, and we just can't be successful and still be nurturing. You know, we can't work hard and still show up in the house. Come on. We're acting like that. We're pretending like, come on. But if we really want to be honest, bro, there's duality in us. I can go out, work all day, get on a podcast, film videos, whatever, and then see my wife in the kitchen and like, yo, let me help you with these dishes. Like, I can do that.
1000%.
You dig what I'm saying? I can do that. My woman can be the most feminine person in the world. She can enjoy her sleep, but she can see me in the garage and be like, babe, you need help lifting that? She can do that, right? I don't understand why we be acting like, yo,
that's your job, this is my job.
If I gotta do this, I'm not doing. That's crazy. That's just lazy behavior.
Yeah.
And I think that when we position ourselves like that, we start creating this transactional relationship, and we start limiting ourselves, right? And not even showing like our talents and the way we can help people. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I be helping my woman decorate and stuff like that. I help my woman like take out her hair sometimes. You're like, come on, bro. Like,
my girl ain't take out her.
What are we talking about right now, bro?
That's
what
true
are we talking
companionship,
about,
bro?
Right? It's a cop out. It's a cop out. That's what it is. So it's just like, yo, like, nah, I work. Why should I have to work and clean the dishes? Yo, like, you're not cleaning the dishes by yourself every day.
So do that woman in particular, does she not understand the true meaning of companionship?
Nah, I think it's just like a cop out. It's just I could choose like it's just
because
like
I'm the woman.
It's just a way on paper though, obviously, because when the right guy steps to you, all that should go out the window.
That's a fact.
By the way. Like all that. By the way, all of it go
By
out
the
the
way.
window, right? We just know internet talk. This was internet talk. This was on paper. But when the right guy steps to you, because like you can say all you want, yo, if I'm making money, I'm not washing no dishes, doing no laundry, doing nothing. But then like you see your woman tired,
Yeah.
and you see your woman like a headache or long day.
Yep.
You're gonna
She
get
needs some help.
you're gonna get in the sink, bro. You're not gonna be like,
You're gonna
okay,
start separating them clothes.
you're not gonna say, I'm gonna wait till she get better.
Nah.
That's just not real life, bro.
Yeah.
And when people be talking about that they can only do one thing. It's just like, yo, that's crazy to me.
So what you're talking about ultimately is self-awareness.
Come on, man.
Right. And when we're talking about self-awareness, if we all are self-aware, the goal is to not necessarily find the one, but the goal is to be the one.
Become the one.
You got to become the one. You got to be the best version of yourself in order to do these things. So like to your point, dude, and if my wife is tired, bro, I'm not saying you're supposed to wash the dishes. That sounds crazy to me when I think about that, right? Because, you know, dating, you can be a little bit more rigid where you do this, I do this. But when we are building and we together and we become one, we just try to become the best versions of ourselves for ourselves, right?
And for each other.
For ourselves, because we are one.
Yep.
Right? So we want to be the best versions, right? Like, for example, I slipped a disc in my back 2 weeks ago and my wife just taking out the trash. Killed me inside. But what's she gonna say? I'm gonna wait till he get better to take out the trash.
Right. So those are the nuances that people are leaving out. So when you say there's no way I would ever take out the trash if I'm with a man, what do I look like? Okay, what happened?
So you guys know we had Pastor Ray on a few years ago, and it's something that sticks out to me heavily after you said that. Part of the reason why the majority of a lot of relationships suffer silently is because we have silent contracts. We have these contracts that we tell ourselves that we never even talk to our partner about of what we will and what we will not do. So you're just like, I'm never taking out the trash. So now my back hurt. She says she's never taken out the trash. Trash not getting taken out. She's frustrated because she's watching the trash. And I don't even know this because she created this silent contract, right? Hypothetically speaking. And we all have had silent contracts that we've created where you're like, I'm never doing that. If I get cheated on, this is, but like, we don't really know anything until we are in the situation, until we are actually going through it. And we're doing ourselves a real disservice by having these silent contracts and saying who we will be before we even in the situation. Granted, I understand we want to prepare for situations to the best of our ability, but when we have a silent contract involving two people, but only one person know what side of that contract is being talked about, is it really a contract? How can I have a contract with just me? So that is super important. I think that's something that everybody in relationships need to understand, that we have silent contracts. If you adopted that, take that out. You got to get rid of those silent contracts because they're just not healthy. It's not healthy.
So let me ask you this though. So when you hear women online say things like the dating pool is full of trash men, all the men are, just they throwing out statistics about how, black men aren't measuring up to the same standards as black women and things like that, just highlighting those discrepancies, right? How does that make you feel?
I'm around too many good men to take like that.
Take it personal.
I don't feel any type of way about it. I believe that people's perspective is their reality. So if that's what you're experiencing, that's what you're experiencing. If somebody said, man, this is what my experience is, I would love to get around somebody who can shift this perspective for me, then that's a different conversation. But if you telling me what your experience is, all I know how to do is sit down and listen. How do I feel about it? Me and my wife don't care how I feel about it. Like, I'm not going to jump out and comment on the internet and tell you about yourself. I do know a lot of single guys, so if anybody does feel that way, I could throw some single gentlemen your way. And Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like I'm not really pressed on it. Actually,
Yeah, we don't care.
Do not.
Don't care.
yeah, I don't really care. Like dudes say all the time, man. I don't think it's too many good women out there, but like I also subconsciously know who they are, so I let them say what they say,
Right.
because that's what your reality
Y'all
is.
just talking about each other.
Yeah.
Everybody talking about the same person. Everybody talking about each other.
What I will say though that I do think is important is that relationships that are admirable should definitely be what people look at who feel that way. So even if that is your experience, understand that that is your experience. It's not what the entire scope of
Right.
dating truly is. Because I've never felt that way, even when I was serial dating. I've never felt, man, women out here ain't.
I never felt that way either.
Nah.
I never felt that way in my life.
I never felt that way. I always felt like there was the right person out there. I'm on some bullshit right now.
I wasn't on that.
I'm on some bullshit right now. That's all I've always felt too.
Maybe that's why our relationship, our kind of perspective on women is as healthy as it is, right? And a lot of that is because if you have good relationships or good experiences with women, then like you're not gonna have this negative outlook when it's time to get in a relationship, you know. And I think that if you a guy who's just, you know, maybe you weren't handsome in high school, or you didn't play sports, or you had that, you were getting bullied, or whatever the case may be, is you may grow up and become successful and then like resent women or try to get your lick back, right? And I think
Trying to get your lick back is crazy.
That's crazy though,
That's
right?
crazy. So it's a lot of men doing that.
I'm saying, right? And a lot of times those are the worst experiences for women, and those are the guys that women are like, man, these guys, you know, these guys aren't measuring up to us, you know. But yeah, we'll have that experience.
Yeah, I think, you know, love and relationships are a huge reflection of where you are at with yourself, right?
Correct.
And I think a great exercise would be to actually sit down and see what that has looked like around you. Just collect your own data. What does my relationships look like? What does my love life look like? And what do I actually think about these things, right? And kind of journal that. I think something that's very important is data, right? I never thought that I would be somebody who wasn't going to get married because my data didn't say that. So I always was able to just really just follow that and look at that. And I'm not saying not statistics, not numbers, anything, just who I am. My data is not predicated off of it's 8-1 in society, or the divorce rate is 55%, or, you know, men in Los Angeles meet women at a lesser rate. That's not what my data is reflective of. My data is reflective off of who I am as an individual, right? So I've always had healthy relationships. I've always looked at relationship in a healthy light, and that was always my expectation. So I think that something that will be great for people to do is to not only understand what their data is, but look at what you being the right one would look like. Write that out, right? Your perfect day, what does your perfect day look like? I don't want you to write out necessarily your perfect life, but what would your perfect day look like? I wake up at X, I do this first, I do this, I pour into myself here, I get to this type of job, this is what my day looks like, these are the conversations that I'm having, this is the way that I'm feeling. Something that was really dope for me when I was creating my business was this older gentleman, we were speaking, and he was like, when you think about walking into your business, what do you feel? What do you smell? What does it sound like? Who are you? What do you look like? And envision yourself in that space as that. And those are the things that nobody can ever take away from you. So when you're walking around, you're trying to look for the one and you're not necessarily the one, those are the things that you could give yourself in order to give yourself a better chance at finding the one.
You could also try to become the one, right? By helping yourself out. When you feel like you're struggling, there's nothing wrong with seeking coaching or help, right? So if you're a woman or a man, but if you're a woman, that's who we're talking to, and you feel like you're successful and you have a lot of great things going for you, and the one thing that you feel like you're lacking is a relationship. What's wrong with sitting down with a therapist and talking about those things? Because it could be even a deeper issue that you're completely missing over, because you're not going back deep enough, because you've compartmentalized. You know what I mean? You've put things in the side in the past that have bothered you, that have affected you, that's coming out today that you're not even really aware of. And someone who is skilled, licensed, a professional could bring those things to your awareness. You know what I mean? Bring those things to your attention. So that's another thing that people could do to help themselves become the one, is actually pour into themselves, seek counsel, hire a therapist. You know what I mean? Let's talk about deeper issues that may be underlying here. You know what I mean? That I'm not seeing. Because there's always blind spots. There's always blind spots, especially if you're not, fully tapped in, because your focus is elsewhere. Your focus is on your career. Your focus is on being, a successful woman, which is okay. But just understand that you're lacking in other areas because your focus isn't there. So it's okay to hire someone who may have all eyes and attention there and can see things that you can't. That would be the wisest thing for someone to do. One of the wisest things for someone to do.
So in order to find the one, you saying you got to become that person.
Yeah.
To find that person. Yeah. But I only say that only if you want a relationship.
Yes. That's what we talking to.
Only.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because again, I don't be caring. So when I hear women talking about I don't want to be in a relationship, I don't be caring. I'm like, cool, make a difference to me.
Right,
cool, I feel it. But if you're someone who want to be in a relationship, then definitely working yourself and stop being lazy. Working yourself, become who you want to attract, and you're gonna attract them. Fellas,
it's good.
We solid,
welcome
fellas.
back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back. Listen, y'all, appreciate y'all. Oh, real quick. We have a replay available to you guys. If you guys are interested in watching the replay of our How to Find Mr. Right or How to Secure Mr. Right in 2025, it's in the description. Okay, so go check that out. You're going to get 2 replays. It's going to give you the full visual of our classes that we've done so far. You're going to learn, the steps that you need to learn to get a man. You're going to learn certain steps to secure a man. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence. We're going to talk about emotional regulation. We're going to talk about destructive habits and so on and so forth, right? If you're watching this right now, we your big bros. So just trust us. All right. With that said, man, much love, much gratitude. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalan. This is another episode of Nice and Neat, and that's that on that.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting older now, I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance I stand. I'm going to pull 4 in the fucking white sand.